Saturday morning, and if I'm doing the math right, which I probably am not, I believe this is the 12th episode of the COVID series of the Cummins Real Estate Group show.
You got it, Curtis.
So Michelle Cummins, of course, is our expert. Michelle, 12 episodes in now.
Can't believe it. Yes, absolutely. 12.
You haven't had to see me for 3 full months.
Loving it. It's not a baker's dozen of episodes, but no.
No, now here's the problem is that I have had a lifelong dislike for the number 13. It's a weird superstition, I know, but I don't know how we're going to get by next week's episode.
Is it because you grew up in Richmond?
You know, no, I don't know. I've always had this weird superstition about 13. I don't like it when guys wear it on my teams when I was a player or when I've coached. I don't like 13th floors in buildings. I like the ones that go from 12 to 14. I know it's silly.
Did you watch Friday the 13th?
No, not really.
Freaky Friday?
Well, I've seen Freaky Friday, of course. But the original, not the new Lindsay Lohan version or whatever that they came out with.
See, the original is the one I really like and watched too. That's a good one. I really like it. I never watched the remake.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've seen the remake, but I remember we're showing our age here, but I remember the original.
It is true. But originals just seem to always be better, right? That's why I have a hard time watching like the second Grease with Michelle Pfeiffer's awesome, but never really got into those because I like the original Grease. And it just seems like all the originals are always better. I'm sure there's some exceptions, but
there are rare occasions where I think maybe the original, maybe didn't fire on all cylinders and they remake something and it's better. But usually the copies pale by comparison.
Guess what I watched last night?
Let me think. What did you watch last night? Real Stories from the ER starring Michelle Cummins?
No. No.
Still one of my all-time favorite episodes of that show.
No, I watched a Western. I've always wanted to act in a Western. I would love that. But I watched, think Western and comedy. Think Jackie Chan and
Owen Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Shanghai Noon?
So good.
It is a great movie.
Oh, it was so funny. It was so funny. And what was the part? Okay, Richard was saying that Owen should be Chip Gaines in a movie about Chip Gaines and Joanna Gaines.
That would kind of work, yeah. I think Owen's a little older, not much, but I think that he probably could play him.
And what about the girl that played Lana Lang in Smallville? She's from Vancouver. She's an actress. She's in this law movie right now, or TV series, I think a Netflix series. But she would make a great Joanna Gaines, too. Yeah, no,
they should make a movie about those two when you think about what they have done with their careers, with their home renovations, their real estate business, and then their charitable sides, too. And with all these kids.
Oh, my gosh, I know. They're like the perfect couple, the perfect family, like the perfect, what everyone aspires to be and do. It seems like they've just gone for life. They've just done it. They've just full out just went in with everything they got, and they're doing everything. It's great.
Well, they're kind of an example of a couple that absolutely complements and completes each other because he is nuts, but is so good at all the stuff he does. And she's obviously, more, grounded and centered. And
they're the yin and yang.
Yeah, and she's got the business brains and the business savvy and the design savvy and stuff like that, and he can just go make it happen.
So perfect together. I know, I love it. So talking about entertaining, I just happened to go on your Instagram the other day, and I'm like, are you even alive, Curtis? You haven't posted since 2019.
I don't do a lot on my own Instagram. I always forget I have it.
The last photo of you is your head through a Hawaiian dancer's body.
Oh, wow. So that was in December when we were in Hawaii.
You got it. Yeah.
So I haven't posted in 6 months. Wow. Okay. I've done some stuff on the radio station Instagram page.
Yes, that's true.
We've done a couple of these confessions with a Pope where I've interviewed, artists on there for half an hour.
That's cool. That is cool.
But I do have to start getting some content on my own page then.
Yeah, it would be fun. Share some of your life.
Well,
with us.
nobody wants to see them. Trust me, they don't want anything. It's me yelling at 3 teenagers to do their schoolwork. That's what it is right now.
Well, my Instagram, I don't put a lot of personal. I do, like, my whole life is personal, I guess. Business and personal is the same to me because it's just all wrapped up together. But I do a little bit on that, but I try to, I'm trying to get to, I want to get to 5,000 followers, and I know that's like a big, like, that's just, I don't know why, I just have that figure, so that's my goal. And so I'm trying to upload mine with enough, content and sharing enough interesting posts and informative to help that it's an interesting, that somebody would want to go to it, right? I don't want a follower who doesn't ever look at stuff, right? So I'm trying to fill it with good content. Okay, so I know we got to get on because we really need to stick with our 11-minute segment, this first segment, okay?
Well, we're trying to be better with our time because you and me are notorious for having the gift of the gab.
It's true. So I'm really going to try. We need an alarm to go off at 11 minutes. But okay, so we're going to talk this segment about costs when buying in British Columbia. So cost of purchasing a property, some hidden, some you don't know. I wanted to make it clear for buyers to know what costs are in British Columbia. So everyone knows, of course, sellers pay for commissions to the realtor brokerages and then around $1,000 of legal fees. So it's pretty cut and dry for sellers, commissions and legal fees. But with buyers, it's a little more complicated. There's more to it. So most expensive costs for purchasing for a buyer is property transfer tax, which is acronym PTT, or the PPT, which is property purchase tax. So same thing. You might see it called PTT or PPT, same thing. It's 1% on the first 100,000 and 2% on the remaining up to 2 million. And anything over 2 million, the government wants 3% on anything over the 2 million mark. So for example, on let's say a 600,000 purchase price, you have a tax of $10,000 to pay on completion day. So your lawyer will do the adjustments and you'll see that tax added to the purchase price. Other taxes to keep in mind is 5% GST. So that's only, though, on like land and new construction. There's a couple different places where it may be, pertain to your purchase, but most purchases don't have the GST. But if you are buying new or land only, a couple other things, you'll have that. But keep in mind that if you are purchasing a property that's brand new, that's under $750,000, like my one I have in Harrison Mills, then you don't have to pay any property transfer tax. They waive it. So they don't want to double tax you, which is quite nice. They implemented that a couple years ago. So you would only have the 5% GST if it's under $750,000. If it's $750,000 to $800,000, there is a sliding scale. You'll pay some of the tax, but not all of it. And then over $800,000, you'll pay the whole property transfer tax and GST. The thing with GST, though, is you can put that into your mortgage. So your mortgage provider can do that for you. So you don't have to come up with it over and above your property purchase. And then there's legal fees, of course, of around $1,000. So yes, both sides, seller and buyer, both have their own legal fees. Buyers, same price, around $1,000, unless there's a bit more things for the lawyer to do, such as if it's a strata, they have extra documents and adjustments that they're going to have to do. So it does cost more because it takes them more time. But you're looking at around $1,100, $1,200, $900 to $1,200. Let's just call it. It's either notary or lawyers you can use.
Now, is there a benefit to using one or the other? Because I know I've been asked that before because people think that I'm on a real estate show. I would know.
Not really. There's, both really should have fiduciary duties to you, and both have, legal expertise. But if something looks like it's going to be really complicated, let's say you're purchasing a property that maybe it's a court order sale that's complicated, or maybe there's a divorce, you're buying from a divorcee, or maybe there's a whole bunch of charges on title because there's, the cousin lived at the property and they think they own part of it, and then there's all these complications or hiccups or charges from debt providers, charges and liens. If it looks complicated on title, have the lawyer review it. And I say hire a lawyer just because they can really go to bat for you, and it's just a bit more technical and legal stuff that they have to do. So I would say go to a lawyer if it looks a little complicated.
Okay.
But otherwise they're both, just fine for conveyancing. Okay, so then there's house inspection. So this is a fee that actually is the first money out of your pocket, and before you even know if you're going to buy the property, but it's a very important step, an important thing to pay for. So the first cost, and typically it's around $300 to $500 depending on the square footage, because the inspectors go from square footage. They have to be licensed and certified now in British Columbia. They didn't have to years ago. It's been now, but now they do have to be licensed, so that's good. If there was an inspection done on the property before, though, you can ask the seller or the seller's agent, find out, because then you might be able to save that cost. You might be able to get an inspection that was done recent for free, or sometimes just offer half price and you can get it half off that way. Or you might just want to hire your own. And then if you're purchasing land, then you have to consider 3 extra inspections. So that would be a well water test if there's a well, and that's around $200. Takes 5 days by the time you get the water. And I'm going to do a video on how to take this test probably this coming week. But once you get it into the company that tests it, it takes about 5 days, around $200. Septic inspection is around $200, very important, and underground oil tank inspection. So in certain areas and certain ages of properties, you just never know. It's always a wise thing to do is have the company come out and detect if there's any underground oil tanks. And that's around $200 too. So that's total cost of all the inspections and everything, just the inspections alone before you decide to purchase a property is about almost $900 to $1,000 if you're buying land. So it can get pretty expensive, but it's so important to do and well worth it, because septics, can you imagine if you don't test it, then it could cost $30,000 to $50,000 to fix. And oil tanks, oh my gosh, if there's one that's found later on that's contaminated, and legally you have to decommission it, and it can cost thousands of dollars to 6 figures. Like there's stories in the area that the buyer that ended up buying it and they didn't test it or check it, it ended up costing $150,000, $200,000, and they try to go back to the seller to pay for it. It's just a mess, and it's just a hassle. Please just be aware and have it detected. And on that note, those are the costs to be involved. And if anybody has any questions or wants a whole buyer's guide to help them out, just email me. Go onto my website and request it. I'm happy to send it to you, and it goes through what to expect when you're a buyer and all these costs involved as well.
Okay, well, with that, we should probably call it a first segment. If people want to get in touch with you, what should they do?
MichelleCummins.ca.
We are back with more right after this. And we are back with the second segment of the Cummins Real Estate Group show with Michelle 1L Cummins, no G, and myself, Curtis Pope, with, just how it spells and how it sounds. Michelle, I understand there's breaking news in the world of mortgages.
Yes, be prepared. July 1st, there's changes coming. So a few of my close mortgage partners reached out to me to tell me right away about this. But the first one was Kiki Berg. I love her name, Kiki Berg. She goes by the Mortgage Diva. She's outside of that.
I love that. The Mortgage Diva?
Yeah, she's pretty cool. And so she said me, it's going to get tougher to get a mortgage with less than 20% down payment. So again, effective July 1st, the following will apply to CMHC insured mortgages. So insured mortgages, maximum gross debt service ratio drops to 35. Maximum total debt service ratio drops from 42. Minimum credit score rises from 600 to 680. And borrow down payments will be banned. So that's like lines of credits and, grabbing it from your credit card. So this means those getting an insured mortgage less than 20% down payment will now have greater restrictions and will be able to borrow less. So if you have an approval application in already, like right now, you already have it in, you're okay. But if you're planning on buying soon, make sure to speak with a mortgage broker to ensure you fall within the new guidelines before getting all excited and going to look at places. Definitely get in touch with a mortgage provider if you're thinking of buying anytime soon, and get that pre-approval in ASAP so you know what it looks like. So this is, too bad and unfortunate news because they're making it tougher to borrow, but it is what it is, and we gotta go with what we have. So again, thanks to the Mortgage Diva, Kiki Bergs, for the information, and all the other great mortgage partners I have that sent out that information. And the great thing is Jamie Moy of DLC West Coast Mortgages, who's been on our show a few times, she further told me that the Bank of Canada didn't raise their rates when they met, and they aren't planning to, and they don't expect them to raise the rates for like another year, or at least until 2021. So that's at least some sugar, some niceness of this.
Okay, now,
or at least,
a question for you then. Is this because of the whole, COVID-19, the last 3 months, that they don't want people going into further debt because of people's work, position and stuff like that?
It is. They don't want to go. They don't want to lend. They're having a hard. They don't like lending right now. They're kind of scared of it, and this is their way of protecting themselves and making sure that Canadians don't go further in debt at this time. Yeah, it's kind of a mix of both. They're trying to keep the economy going, and real estate is a gigantic part of that. But at the same time, they're scared themselves, about it.
Well, they don't want to get us in a situation like they went through in the U.S., I guess, about 7-8 years ago, right?
Yeah, exactly. Canada's always been like the best type for lending. Like our Bank of Canada is just amazing. So they really stay on top of things. So we'll adjust, and it'll be perfectly fine. I wanted to go in then to our May stats, because the May statistics came out and just a couple days ago, and I do have them again on my website, and it goes into subcategories, and I've got much detail further on that if anybody wants to know your sub area or area. But May 2020 saw the Fraser Valley real estate market start to pick up again. So if you've had your hand on the pulse, you'll have noticed that. While the numbers are nowhere near last year, they are an increase from last month. This is a good sign that people have adjusted to the necessary requirements of our situation and are moving forward. Both realtors and our clients have made great efforts to adapt to the changes, and it shows as we see more and more transactions happening. It's proof in the 6 pending transactions I have currently right now myself. So there were a total of 805 sales in the month of May, which is down 47% from last year, but up an encouraging 17% from the month of April. And if you remember April stats, we were down 53% in sales. So now we're just down 47% in sales. So we are getting healthier, or we're going slowly back to where we were. And we also saw a large amount of new listings hit the market with an increase of 55% over last month, and down 37% from the last year. So that's good too. And you'll see that in my quick week-to-week snapshot I'll be doing shortly here. So the benchmark price activity in the Fraser Valley, so together benchmark price, whole Fraser Valley, single family detached is now at $990,400. So that's up year over year 2.7%. An average 31 days on the market is what it's taking a property to sell, a detached home. Townhouses are at $555,000, and that's up 1.8% from last year, and it takes an average 36 days to sell a townhome right now. Apartments and condos are at $433,700, and that's up 1% from last year, and an average of 38 days on the market for condos and apartments. So now I'm going to just go into a few municipalities. We're just going to start with Abbotsford. And we're going to do benchmark price because it's a better pinpoint of a price point. It is up 3% year over year. It's currently at $827,500. Townhouses in Abbotsford are right now at $453,700. That's up 0.7% from last year. And apartments, condos are at $314,200, and that's just slightly down 1% from last year. So that's Abbotsford. specifically Mission, benchmark price for detached homes are at $675,000. That's up 2% from last year. Townhouses are at $463,500. That's up 2.4% from last year. And condos, apartments, they're at $349,000, and that's down 2% from last year, and that's Mission. Langley, we have detached benchmark prices at $1,027,000, which is up 3.9% from last year. Townhouses at $569,000, that's up 2.4% from last year. And condos, apartments at $402,000, and that's up 1.8%. And then Surrey, all Surrey combined is a benchmark price detached of $1,087,000. And that's up 2.4%. Townhouses, $578,000, up 2.1%. And condos are at $399,000, and that's up 1.7%. So that's the month by month. And I'm going to go week by week now. Quickly, everything is up and up. Everything.
Well, that's easy.
Except, yeah, right? The only one that's not up in sold is in listings is Chilliwack, and it's only by 6. No big deal. Their solds are up, though. So really, everything is up and up. All listings, all solds in the whole Fraser Valley and Chilliwack area, and including Maple Ridge. That's so fantastic.
So everything is on the up and up.
Up and up. Up and up.
Okay, so I imagine this weekend, as we're slowly getting back to our new now normal, I guess you probably have some open houses this weekend.
I do. I'm going to have Tibor Simon is a colleague and mentee of mine, and he's going to be hosting, along with Christine Allen from Haystacks Mortgages, my 2 on Sunday. And I'm going to host mine with Christine on Saturday. So I'm kind of flipping from last week. And a couple of these are almost sold, so it's pretty vital that if you're interested, please come out, have a look, and don't be shy of writing an offer with subject.
Now, wait a minute. How can a house be almost sold? Isn't that like being kind of pregnant?
That means like the test is almost positive, okay?
Oh, okay.
Like, totally. We've got second viewings, and we've got, earmarks of realtors saying, yeah, my client's probably going to write type of thing.
Okay, I got you now. Okay, I was a little confused there.
Yeah, and our feedback and communication. Yeah, so, I mean, this is the weekend. I've advertised them. We're going to have them anyways. So they all are all still available, but just so you know. So the one on Saturday, today, I'm actually going to be out at 11 o'clock. I'm going to go out to Harrison Mills and showcase that beautiful property, the brand new one I talked about earlier. It's 22 off Morris Valley Road in River Reach, adjacent to the Sandpiper Golf Course, and right next to, you can see the Harrison River from it, but it's adjacent to Harrison River and at the mouth of Hemlock Ski Resort. So that's brand new home, beautiful. Come out. I'll be there at between 11 and 1 today. And then tomorrow, Tibor and Christine will be out at the Maple Ridge property, and please have a look on my Facebook or social media to see addresses and everything, and the event pages there. So off McClure Drive in Maple Ridge, we've got a half-acre, fully fenced, fully hedged, a house with in-law suite, a walkout, a daylight basement, and then a detached 1,100 square foot shop with a washroom. This property is fully usable, and there's back access. It's amazing. So that's between 12 and 2 on Sunday, and then they're going to head over to Aldergrove, my property I have on 32nd Avenue, which is just an awesome, cool vibe place. It's still it's so well maintained, and the downstairs rec room, he built the bar. It's like this rough wood, huge bar. It was awesome. You got to see it. Huge lot, really good lot. You could drive to the back of the lot and build a really nice shop in the back, which is really rare there in that area to have that. And they just lowered the price. It's fantastic. And so come out and that one's going to be from 3 to 4:30 on Sunday. And I would love to end this segment with a quote.
Well, it's kind of become our new thing.
Yes. What you are looking for isn't out there. It's in you.
That's deep.
Yeah. Author unknown.
Author unknown. I noticed that all these authors are unknown. Are you just making this stuff up?
Well, no. I don't make much up.
Okay, well, there we go. Well, if people want more information or want to get in touch with you, Michelle, what do they got to do?
MichelleCummins.ca.
And be sure to listen in again next week when we will talk more real estate in order to unlock your real estate potential on a show where real estate is maximized. Thanks for listening.